What's poppin', y'all? Welcome back to another YouTube video, and today we're taking a look at Heartstopper Season 1. I caved, okay? I caved. I watched it, okay? After everybody ranting and raving about it on TikTok, and seeing people talking about it on Instagram, and seeing one of the actors appear in the MCU now in WandaVision, Agatha all along, and seeing the other actor appearing in a very good movie, The Wild Robot. So this is obviously like these two actors' big break TV show, so I wanted to see where they came from, and I wanted to see what all the hype was about. Heartstopper does have 3 seasons, so I'll be doing 3 separate videos on Heartstopper, taking a look at each season individually. So this video is all about Season 1, tomorrow we'll take a look at Season 2, the day after that we'll take a look at Season 3. So for all you Heartstopper fans, we are taking a look at 3 separate seasons. We'll be giving it 3 separate reviews, one based on every season, and yeah, without any further delay, let's take a look at what Google has to say. So, Heartstopper is a romance TV show which came out in 2022, and that seems like there's a new season every year so far, which is pretty cool. It has an 8.5 out of 10 on IMDb and a 98% Rotten Tomatoes. You can watch it on Netflix. Teens Charlie and Nick discover their unlikely friendship might be something more as they navigate school and young love. So how Season 1 actually starts is with Charlie rocking up to school and meeting his boyfriend in the library, who decided to ditch him and not show and ghost him. And then he decides to go see him at lunch, where he gives him a little peck on the cheek and then fucks off. Then he sees this boy hanging with a girl and he's a little pissed about it. And he's hanging with a rugby boy in form, which is quite cute because that's very evident by the look on his face, so he fancies him, and he's telling his mates, and his mates are like, oh, that's sweet, but he's a rugby boy, and you got bullied by the rugby team last year, and we don't like the rugby team, we're borderline outcasts, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, you know what, fuck you, I'm going to join the rugby team. I'm going to join the rugby team and get closer to him. So he does that, he does get closer to him, and they become pretty good friends over the course of being in form together. And, you know, he breaks up with his other boyfriend because he tries to force himself onto him, and that's not good. Nick then shows up and absolutely gives him one, and you know, that's pretty cool. So Nick stood up for him, and that's where it all starts. We have Nick then being like, oh shit, do I like boys? And then has a little bit of a gay panic, and researches all about gay people, and like the LGBT community, and what it is to be gay. He literally fucking searched on Google, am I gay? And that's not what you search on Google. That is just not what you search on Google, because Google doesn't have that answer for you. Google does not have that answer for you. And you can do as many BuzzFeed quizzes, and you can do as many fucking am I gay tests as you want. It'll never have the answer for you. It will never ever have the answer for you. Only you can make that decision. And he scares himself shitless because, you know, all this is conflicting information, and it isn't helping him in the slightest. So he just confuses himself and works himself up a little bit more. Okay, something fell. That's not good. I'll be back. They then continue to sort of try things out and be like, yo, I think I might be a little bit, liking of you, but I don't know. And then he's like, cool, I like you too. Let's keep it a secret. They kiss in a party, and, you know, one of them runs away after the kiss and then comes back and he's like, shit, I'm sorry. You know, I didn't mean to run away. I panicked. Alright, I'm sorry. And then he's like, don't worry about it. It's chill. Let's be together. So they be together. And they hide it from everyone because they don't want anyone to know. No one at all. They then have a fight. Nick and one of Nick's mates, Harry, I do believe, because Harry's a dick. Harry's just a dick. So they have a scrap. The other, Charlie is like, oh shit, you got to fight for me, that's not good, I don't like that, I'm ruining your life, I'm sorry, let's break up. Nick's like, nah, we're not breaking up, fam, we're staying together. And then Tao Isaac and Elle are all like, "What the fuck tell us." So he tells them all individually at separate times, and Tao is not happy that he found out last and that he was never told by Ollie himself. So he gets into a fight with Harry as well and gets hurt. They all become best friends. Elle moves school and befriends two others, two girls, two lesbian girls, and those girls help Nick through sort of opening up to everyone. Charlie and Nick then go to the beach, have a grand old time, and he becomes open and wants to tell people that he is, with Charlie. Right, now that the story is out the way, we've completely covered the story season 1. There, obviously, it goes into more detail, and there's definitely worth watching it. But that is important. I need to tell the whole story so then I can talk about the good parts and the bad parts. I'm going to be honest, I felt like some situations could have been avoided with communication. And, if you just talk to each other, that would have been better than some of the actions that they took. They didn't like to talk to each other. Nick absolutely adored going to Google to ask Google for everything, and we see that continue throughout the entirety of season 1. He just Googles everything. That's it. Whenever he comes into a problem, Google. Whenever he runs into anything that's a minor, Google. Minor inconvenience, big inconvenience. Issues with anything, Google. That's all he fucking does. He's just a Google machine. He's a Google man. And you know what? I dig it, but Google is never going to have the right answer for you, because if you Google that you have a cold and that your back of your throat hurts, you're going to die within the next 2 hours. So Google's never the best place to go for information. I hated that. Also, it pissed me off of how indecisive they are when texting. We had so many scenes of them going to text each other and then change what they were going to write like 4 or 5 times. That pissed me off with how indecisive they were at texting. Like, I think of my response or what I'm going to say next as soon as I press send. As soon as I press send in that first message, I think about what I'm going to send next, I type it out in a draft, and then I leave the conversation until they respond. It's as simple as that. So, I already planned out the conversation in my fucking head, and I have options for when I come back of what to say. Fucking brilliant idea. So, this sort of texting of like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that, just rewording the same fucking thing over and over and over again pissed me off. It just didn't resonate with me. I feel like the relationship between Tao and Ollie, fuck, have I called them the wrong names this entire time? I don't know. Charlie, Ollie, Oliver, Charlie? I'm gonna say Charlie. I hope I didn't, fuck. The main guy, right? And him and Tao, their relationship, it didn't really explore that as much as I would have liked it to, because it tried to make us have like a big deal on how their relationship was breaking and how Tao was taking it. But like, they didn't show us enough of their relationship before he met Nick to give us that sort of contrast and to see how much Charlie had actually changed. We didn't see the sort of consequences of Charlie's actions, because the series starts practically as soon as he meets Nick, and it's just like there's no contrast there to be able to see how he was acting before and to see the sort of how they once were to how they are now. So it just, all that information came from Tao sort of monologuing to Elle and just being like show don't tell, of like telling us that their relationship has changed and that their friendship group is falling apart and their friendship group is changing, without actually showing us any change, because it doesn't give us any example of what they were before, which I feel like is a lot of tell, and I do prefer a little bit of show in my stories, and like, show me what you're trying to tell me instead of just straight up monologuing to me all the time or getting one of your characters to monologue at me. Harry also just seemed like a massive dick, and I didn't feel like it was realistic. that is, from me, I didn't feel like he was a realistic character. He felt really made up because he is the stereotypical rich prick. It just felt very stereotypical to have that sort of rich character be very stuck up and be very sort of set in the past and not sort of welcoming to the way of, like, you know, how we are in 2024. Like, he just seemed like the very stereotypical sort of bully, and he didn't really feel very fleshed out. And that's what I felt like this show was lacking in its world building. Like, the world building was kind of lackluster. They spent their entire time in Charlie's room, Nick's room, or the school, Tower's room as well, and that was it. Those were our 4 locations. So it was a very weak sort of world building in terms of sort of showing us where they live, and also the relationships between the other characters. It did take a massive focus on the 2 girls from Elle's school, which befriended Elle. Those 2 had a massive part to play into Charlie and Nick's relationship and sort of them 2 getting together, which I quite liked because it sort of deepens the bond between these characters, which we could further explore in season 2 and 3. But as of right now, it just doesn't set up all the characters evenly. It definitely feels like it favored more of the side characters than others, and those other side characters which didn't get focused on felt like their plot lines didn't really get fulfilled with season 1. Overall, I did still enjoy it. I thought it was pretty cool. I did feel like the pacing had a lot of issues with how fast they moved on from certain situations, but overall, it's a solid 6 out of 10. I probably wouldn't watch it again, but it is still worth a watch.